Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to solve exercise 5.3 from linear equations and inequalities. We need to solve the first question. It states solve the following absolute value equations where x, y and z belong to the set of real numbers. In the first question we have absolute value of x is equal to 5 by 3. So how can we solve this expression? Firstly, let's write absolute value of x is equal to 5 by 3. Now, what does this mean? The absolute value means positive and negative sign. So we can write x is equal to positive 5 by 3, and we can also write x is equal to negative 5 by 3. And if we want to just merge them in the same line, we can write x is equal to plus minus 5 by 3. So this will be our answer for question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. Here we have x plus 2 is equal to 6, and just a reminder that x plus 2 is wrapped in the absolute value brackets. So how are we going to solve this expression? Firstly, we have x plus 2 that is equal to 6. And what is this? This is absolute value. So we can write x plus 2 is equal to positive 6, only 6. And then we can write x plus 2 is equal to negative 6. Now, if we have positive 6, obviously this 2 is going to go to the right, and that means x will be equal to 6 minus 2, and the value of x will be 4. But what if we have negative 6? 2 is also going to go to the right. X will be equal to minus 6 minus 2, and our answer will be negative 8. So these both our answers. Now let's move on to question number 3. Here in question number 3, we have 5y minus 1 is equal to 9, and 5y minus 1 is inside the absolute value brackets. So how can we solve this? So firstly, let's write 5y minus 1, this is equal to 9, but this is wrapped in absolute value brackets. So this means 5y minus 1 is equal to positive 9, and 5y minus 1 is equal to negative 9. So minus 1 will go to the right. That means 5y is equal to 10 and y is equal to 2, since 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now here 5y will be equal to negative 9 minus 1, and that results in negative 10. So the answer of y will be negative 2 here. So these both our answers. Now let's move on. Here we have question number 4, x plus 1 inside of absolute value bracket, and this is equal to 2. So this question is pretty easy. It's the same like we attempted before. So let's write x plus 1 and this is equal to 2. So we can write x plus 1 is equal to positive 2, and here x plus 1 is equal to negative 2. So obviously 1 will go to the right, and x is equal to 2 minus 1. So x is 1. Here x will be equal to negative 2 minus 1. So x will be equal to minus 1. So this will be our answer. Now let's move on. Here we have question number 5, which states that 6 minus 3y is equal to 0. So look, when we have 0, 0 is a neutral value. It isn't positive, neither is it negative. So if we write 6 minus 3y inside of absolute value bracket, and that is equal to 0, that means 6 minus 3y cannot be written as plus minus 0 or plus 0 or minus 0. So we will just simply write 0 here. So now 3y will go to the right. So 6 will be equal to 3y, and when you divide 3 on both sides, the value of y will be 2. So this will be our answer. In case of 0, there is no positive or negative sign, as it is a neutral number. Now in question number 6, we have 3, then we have absolute value bracket z minus 2, minus 4 is equal to minus 2. So let's write this first. What do we have? Firstly, we have 3 bracket z minus 2. After this, we have minus 4, which is equal to minus 2. So we can write minus 4 and this is equal to minus 2. So firstly, this minus 4 will go to the right. So we can write 3 absolute value z minus 2 and then we can write minus 2 plus 4. So minus plus will be minus but the sign will be plus. So we will have 2 on the right and 3 absolute value z minus 2 here. So when this absolute value will get removed, what will happen is that we will have 3 bracket z minus 2 and this will be equal to plus 2 here, and then here we will have 3 bracket z minus 2 and this will be equal to negative 2 here. So let's solve for both of the values. Here we will have 3z minus 6 which is equal to 2. So 6 will go to the right. 3z will be equal to 8 since 6 plus 2 is 8, and then z will be 8 divided by 3. However, here 3z minus 6 will be equal to negative 2. So 3z will be equal to minus 2 added with 6. So minus into plus is minus and the sign will be plus. So we will have 4 here and 3z here. So that means that the value of z is 3 by 4. I'm sorry, it is 4 by 3. So these will be our answers. Now let's move on. Here we have question number 7, which is 2x minus 1 inside of absolute value bracket and that is equal to 5. So how can we tackle this problem? Let's write it first. Absolute value 2x minus 1, absolute value it is equal to 5. So to remove it, then we will have 2x minus 1 is equal to positive 5 and then 2x minus 1 is equal to negative 5. So minus 1 will go to the right here, minus 1 will also go to the right. So 2x is equal to 5 plus 1 or 6. So we can write 2x is equal to 6 and the value of x will be 3. Why? Because 6 divided by 2 is 3. After that, here we have 2x is equal to minus 5 plus 1. So minus into plus is minus, sign will also be minus. So 2x is equal to negative 4. So x will be negative 2. So this is our answer. Okay, now let's move on to question number 8. Here in question number 8, we have 3x plus 2 which is equal to 7. So let's write this equation. So we can just write here 3x plus 2 inside here and this is equal to 7. So we can just write 3x plus 2, it is equal to positive 7 and 3x plus 2 is equal to negative 7. So what will happen here? 2 will go to the right, 3x will be equal to 7 minus 2 and 3x is equal to 5 or x is equal to 5 over 3 for short. Then here 3x will be equal to negative 7 minus 2, minus in minus is plus but the sign will be minus. So we will have negative 9. 3x is equal to negative 9, x is equal to negative 3. So this will be our answer. Okay. Here now we have question number 9, which is absolute value of 4x by 3 is equal to 12. So this question is a bit different, but nevertheless it's pretty easy. We will write 4x with absolute value divided by 3 and this is equal to 12. So now we will do cross multiplication. Here we will have absolute value of 4x and this is equal to 36. Now we will have 4x is equal to positive 36 and 4x is equal to negative 36. And now we can just simply write x is equal to 36 divided by 4 and here x is equal to negative 36 divided by 4. So these both our answer. Now in question number 10 we have 5x absolute value plus 10 is equal to 5. So let's attempt this question. Okay, so firstly absolute value of 5x and this is added with 10 to produce 5. So 10 will go to the right side. So now we have 5x inside the absolute value and it is being subtracted from 10, that results in negative 5 and absolute value is right here. So now when the sign will be changed, this, what does this result in? This results in 5x being equal to positive 5, and then we are going to have 5x being equal to negative 5. Okay, so now 5x is equal to positive 5. 5 will be divided on both sides, so x is equal to 1, and in the case of the other, x will be equal to negative 1. Okay, now let's move on to question number 11. This question is the same as question number 9 right here. It is 1 minus 2y by 4 is equal to 3. So we are going to do cross multiply. So let's write it here. 1 minus 2y divided by 4 will be equal to 3. So now we will do cross multiplication. So what will happen now? We will have 1 minus 2y inside the bracket and this will be equal to 12. So now we can write 1 minus 2y is equal to positive 12 and 1 minus 2y is equal to negative 12. So let's write it here. Okay, so first this minus 2y will go to the right and 12 will go to the left. So that results in 1 minus 12 is equal to 2y. So we are going to get 11 is equal to 2y and y will be 11 divided by 2. This is going to be our answer. But for here, what will happen is that this will go to the right, this will go to the left. So 12 plus 1 is 13 and 13 will be equal to 2y. So that means the value of y is equal to 13 by 2. So these are our answers. Okay. So for question number 12, we have x plus 1 with absolute value divided by 2 and that is equal to 2x minus 1 with absolute value by 3. So let's solve these questions. So first we have x plus 1 inside the absolute value divided by 3 and this is equal to 2x minus 1 by 3. Okay, I think I made a mistake right here. This isn't 3, this is 2. Okay, now that is perfect. So now these both will be multiplied with each other. So we can write 3 absolute value x plus 1 and this will be equal to 2 bracket 2x minus 1. After writing this, what will happen is that on one side the absolute value will be removed. So let's assume we want to remove the absolute value on the right side. So we can write 3 bracket x plus 1 and this will be equal to positive 2 bracket 2x minus 1. And then what will happen is that this is going to be the first and the second will be minus, but let's solve this first. So this will be 3x plus 3. This is equal to 2. Instead of 2, we're just going to write 4x. So 4x minus 2. How are we going to solve this? 3 will go here and then 4x will go here. So 3x minus 4x is equal to minus 2 negative 3. So we will have negative x here. This is equal to minus 5. Okay, so this is our answer, but the negative sign will get removed and x will be equal to 5 only. Okay, so if the sign positive, instead of the sign positive, what if it is now negative? So we're gonna write 3 bracket x plus 1 3 bracket x plus 1 and this will be equal to negative whatever else was on the right side. So we had 2 bracket 2x minus 1. So we're gonna write 3x plus 3. This will be equal to negative 4x added with 2. Okay, so now what will happen is that this will go here, this will go here. So 3x added with 4x will be equal to 2 minus 3. So here we have negative 1 and here we have 7x is equal to negative 1. So 7 will be divided on both sides. So our answer is negative 1 by 7. So our final answer are these two, positive 5 and negative 1 by 7. Okay, in question number 13 we have absolute value of 5x minus 3 and that is equal to x plus 7. So let's write that first. So let's write 5x plus 3 and that is equal to x plus 7 and to the absolute value. So now when the absolute value is removed on the right side, we can write 5x plus 3, that is equal to positive x positive 7. And then if it is changed, it's going to be negative x plus 7. We're going to do that later on. So first 5x plus 3, this x will come here, this will go there. 5x minus x will be equal to 7 minus 3. So we get 4x is equal to, so that is 4. So now x will be 4 divided by 4, which is already 1. So now let's change the sign. Instead of positive, it will be negative. So we are gonna write 5x plus 3 is equal to negative x plus 7. So now this will go here, this will go there. So 5x plus x will be equal to 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. So we're gonna have 6x is equal to 4. 6 will be divided on both sides. So x is equal to 4 by 6. This will be our final answer. Okay. Now here the last question of the exercise is z plus 3 minus 3, and that is equal to 5 minus z plus 3. Okay, let's start by solving this expression first. So now if you look closely, z plus 3 is here, and then we have z plus 3 on the right side. So we can just write 2 and then z plus 3. We can just write it as this. Okay, now let's solve the expression. So I'm gonna write here first. Let's write the expression which we have, that is z plus 3 inside of the absolute value bracket, negative 3, and that is equal to 5 minus z plus 3. Okay, so here we also have z plus 3, here we also have z plus 3. Let's just say we have 2, then z plus 3. That will be equal to 8. Why? Because negative 3 goes to the right and 5 will be added with 3, that results in 8. So now here we have 2, so 2 will be divided by 2 and 8 will be divided by 2. 2 and 2 get cancelled. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we can write that the absolute value of z plus 3 is equal to 4. But we are not done yet. Now what are we going to do? We need to remove the absolute value bracket. So we can write z plus 3 is equal to positive 4 or simply 4. And then we can write z plus 3 is equal to negative 4. So we need to solve for both of these expressions. So that means that 3 will go to the right side, z will be 4 minus 3, so z is simply 1. And here 3 will go to the right side, z will be negative 4 minus 3, so they both will be added with each other now and the sign will be negative. So that results in negative 7. So z is equal to 1 and z will be equal to negative 7. Both of these answers are correct.